So we're going to be professional and we're going to start it off. And I'm going to say, welcome.
What?
Welcome to the episode 3 of, and 3, come through spirit. Anywho, welcome to episode 3 of the Marlowe and MiMi podcast. I am Marlowe.
And I'm MiMi.
And here we are.
Right here.
And today we're talking about twin flames. I know. I need to put like a
scream running around the room.
Legit. I need to put
the
like
dog in that meme with the fire. It's fine. It's fine.
Right?
I'm fine.
Oh my gosh, dude! I literally need to put in like a shrieking like
yes, you have to.
Scream.
You literally can't say twin flame without the horrible screaming screech.
Oh my gosh, you're not even kidding, dude. Oh my gosh, I have to do that. I literally wrote down the timestamp. I'm so gonna do it. Do it. So we're talking about twin flames today, people. And my assumption is always, if you're listening to this podcast, I like to think that you guys have some sense of an understanding or a background on the topics that we talk about. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be listening because you'd probably be like, that weirdo bitch. The hell's she talking about?
Yeah.
What you mean dating psychic is a nightmare, bitch? You know what I'm saying? Right. So I would like to say that you guys have somewhat.
We're going to say some prayers for you and send you some
light a candle. Light a candle.
We're gonna send you some cleansing because this is the devil's work.
Oh, good Lord!
Podcast for you. Wrong Dude, podcast for you.
Right? I'm waiting for someone to be in my comments talk about that dog. I'm waiting.
It's coming. It's coming, and I ain't got to be psychic to know that.
And be like, where you do Bible study at? Because I'm trying to come. I'm trying to come to your Bible study. What is on Zoom? What your meeting idea is?
Are all welcome.
Right.
Dog, real talk. But I say like I don't want to kind of like oversaturate you guys with information, but at the same time, I feel like twin flames are, and you tell me if you agree, Michelle, because I know we kind of touched on it. Those of you who listened last week, we kind of touched on it towards the end. And I love that prophetic weirdo. Shout out to you. She's a subscriber on my channel, Tarot Therapy, and she follows me on IG. But she commented under the podcast and said she went ham and she put the timestamp.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, when we were talking about twin flames, dude. Oh my gosh. So those of you guys who kind of want the prequel to this, you can go back to episode 2 and go ahead and click on that timestamp that prophetic weirdo put up, and you can hear me go ham as we talk about twin flames.
Thank you, weirdo.
Thank you. We appreciate you, you know?
Thank you.
And I even have to say that to all of you guys who are listening out there, if ever there's anything that, you know, me or Michelle say that you feel is like profound or you feel is helpful or you just think is freaking hilarious, feel free, if you're listening to this on YouTube, to stick a timestamp down there. It'll help, you know, your brethren and sisterin. You know what I'm saying? So to get this going, I want to ask you, Michelle, because I think all of us have some sense of a concept of what twin flames are, right? But for everyone that's listening, I think it's good to kind of like get your translation of it. So whether it's for someone who has no freaking clue what it is, may have heard it on like in passing on YouTube, or for a person who, you know, kind of has some sort of understanding of what it is, what would you say that your definition of what a twin flame is? Like, what the F is a twin flame?
It is horror in another person. I'm joking. So what in my ability to explain it in the best way. So everybody carries an energetic frequency. Mm-hmm. And the difference between twin flame and soulmates, right? Your soulmate, they're not exactly the same energetic frequency. These other parts of your, not other part of your soul, because that makes it sound like you're incomplete, but you're matching soul frequency person, right? Mm-hmm. Versus soulmates are just people that are in the same soul pod. So I'm not to go deep into what a soul pod is, and when you reincarnate with the same souls over and over again with your soul contracts and yada yada yada. The twin flame is somebody that soul contract is more intimate in scope, meaning there's very specific lessons and everything you're going to learn with that said person. I've seen in a lot of social media and just people talking about how the twin flame is so wonderful, this, that, and the other. Look, it's not. Okay? It's not. I'm here to tell you, and I'm doing the class. It is not. So this person is meant to trigger the head of you for healing purposes, and you can't get rid of him or her. So basically, it's a big grouping of lessons, and they're usually hard as hell to learn from another person, another human who's sharing that same energetic soul frequency that you share, where it's a matching soul mate, not soulmate like what I just said, but a matching energetic soul. I really hate to say it's the other half of your soul, because that makes it sound like you're incomplete without the twin flame, because there's a lot of people who identify as that and they will never come into union, quote unquote. That's not like the epitome. The goal is the learning process. If you're able to get past that, that's wonderful. And you are able to be on a certain spiritual connection, but it's really about the lessons learning. And oh my gosh, the tension, the chaos. It's so true.
Man.
Like, if you have a choice, and it's like, if you're ordering, would you like a soulmate or your twin flame? Dude, just go soulmate, man. Hey, y'all can be mad all day. Just
soulmate all day.
Soulmate, like, yeah.
Soulmate all day.
So that's my basic, like, surface level explanation. It junk ain't easy. It's not easy. That's how I met Marlowe, because I was like, what the actual hell is going on?
What is this garbage? What is this vortex I found myself in?
It's garbage. Now, granted, I don't want it to make it all doom and gloom, right? Like, if you're able to get through the healing process and the triggers and everything else, dude, that person mirrors you. Like, you are mirroring each other, the good stuff and the bad. So if you can heal through that part, it's going to be an amazing connection. But how many people get through that healing part? I ain't never
met him yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, like this is the funny thing with me, because me even doing this podcast is very tongue in cheek for me. It's very like this entire thing is very tongue in cheek. I think anytime the concept comes up, it's always hilarious for me, because most of you know, those of you who have been following me for some time, you guys know that on 11/11/11, I put out, and that's like, we got a little bit of reducing of, numbers and things for that. I'll get into that never. But anyway, but I put out my book, Motherfuck Twin Flames. And in my book, I touch on that, like, because, of course, like, I'm woo-woo. Y'all know I'm a therapist. Me and Michelle, same thing. We on our same tip, But I had a lot of women coming into my office because they were in twin flame relationships. And I've already, like, told you guys, like, how things work with me. It's like people are drawn to me in waves. So it's like everyone that books a session with me in 1 week, they're all dealing with the same problem. It doesn't matter where in the world they come from. But I had a lot of women coming to me for therapy. And it's always a question of, have you ever heard of twin flames? And I'm like, right? I'm like, I have. Right. And it's like at the time, I don't think I was jaded yet. Like because this is years ago. So I wasn't jaded yet. And I wasn't even like, on YouTube like that yet. Right. But it was like this consistent thing of a lot of women said, like, have you heard of that? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I know what that is. And I think prior to what I experienced, my definition of a twin was probably the most magnanimous, most beautiful thing that you could ever fathom. And kind of like what you said, MiMi, when you were saying it's not like your other half, because, you know, that makes it seem as if you're incomplete, because I always say like two halves make a whole ass mess. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you 110%. But me like first learning about what it was, I was like, wow, this is beautiful, you know, because I think like, well, it's Plato's Symposium, which is like one of the creation stories in like, you know, philosophy or whatever. But I never quite looked at it from the scope of like a twin flame kind of thing. But when I found out what that was, I was like, oh my gosh, this is interesting. So the whole concept was enthralling to me, because to think that you're a high level soul, right? Like someone who's reincarnated like buku times, right? And then there's way too many to where you like, why did I think this is a good idea? But it's like, and there to be right, they're legit. And there's another person who did the same thing. It's like, dog, how lit would that be? And then, you know, back in the day, I used to study Buddhism and I was practicing as a Buddhist, but there's, and I love Yogananda, by the way, just throwing that out there, but there's this, you know, reincarnation belief that there's a devotee that's intended to awaken. You always incarnate with your guru, right? And it's a belief in Buddhism about Jesus, of Moses and Aaron being a pair of a prior reincarnation of Jesus. And shout out to all my Christian people out there. Please don't be offended. You know, I'm saying that's one reason. So just, you know, don't be tripping.
Tight. Just let it finish. Just let it finish.
Just breathe, you know, just unclench your fists.
Sip your water.
Go ahead and take real deep breaths.
Let them shoulders.
In through your nose, out there. Like, yeah, get them away from your earlobes, you know, just relax. But, you know, the second one would be Elijah and Elisha, right? And then the last incarnation would be John the Baptist and Jesus, in the sense that John the Baptist was the guru, right? So it's like once Jesus reached enlightenment and realized who it is that he really was, right? Then that's why John the Baptist got, you know, unalived, with his head being removed, because his services were no longer needed. And that's like the understanding of how this whole thing like works. So you always have like a guide. So that's the next thing I thought about, because it's like, I think with the symposium, it was me thinking about that kind of later, but that was the first thing that popped in my mind. I was like, I can't really see how that applies. But then I thought about that whole, you know, student and the guru thing. I was like, dude, that's lit. So the more that I kind of, you know, dug into it, that's what my concept of twin flames was. Like, that was my definition. It was like, it's a guru and it's a student, and the student is someone who is intended to come to their full awakening. And that's the reason why these people continue to reincarnate with each other, because there's one that's an older soul. And that's 9 times out of 10, just like how it would be in real life. If you have a spiritual teacher or a guru or a mentor or a life coach, it's like they're going to challenge you a lot, like you were saying, MiMi, like they're going to challenge you to bring the best out of you. Right. So I was just like, oh my gosh, like how dope would that be, like to be in love like that and stuff? And like, and then y'all, like, you gonna get woke and then y'all gonna have a little mission and y'all gonna be like helping people and stuff. That's beautiful, right? However, what I encountered in my office is not at all like, and that's where I say it's like that was prior to me being jaded of what I came to learn what this became. And then when I got on YouTube, and like when I started my YouTube, it was in the height of the twin flame wave, 2016, 2017, when everybody and their mama, you know, you got chicks crying in the dark, talking about, I'm channeling the divine masculine. and he's sitting there crying. And then the Karmic, she's cooking dinner in the kitchen and the kids are crying and he's just thinking about how much he loves you. Shuffle cards. And I'm just like, what is this? You know what I mean? Yeah, dude. So tell me this. This is what transitions into. You have twin flames, right? And then you have this new concept that was birthed of a false twin, right?
Yep.
But it's like,
you know what? I don't like you that much. I'm you the false twin.
That's what I'm saying.
I changed my mind.
Dog, like, here's my thing. I feel like we need to do like, gosh, I might have to do like visuals for this, dog, because I feel like I need to put up like a whiteboard and have like words come up, because I feel like we need to do like a Webster's Dictionary edition, right? So it's like, so you have a soulmate, right? And I have to say, if I were to put my 2 cents on that, I agree with what you were saying, Michelle. Like, I believe you don't just have one soulmate. I feel like you got buku of them. And yeah, dog. And it's like, we're like a soul family. So I feel all of us are in cahoots and all of us choose to come down here together. Some of us choose to, be around each other, like your soul family. That's your people who are like your lifetime people. So that's like how we choose our own family, your friends and stuff like that. Like, especially like with us, like with the sanctuary, our whole network, like that's all soul family. So, and you could date a soulmate, you can marry a soulmate if you want, you could make a soulmate your baby mama, baby daddy, ex-husband, ex-wife, whatever you want to do, you got umpteen of those, right? So I agree with you on that. But when we get into twin flames, now, for those of you who don't know, there's 2 main terms and the twin flame, what can I call it? I was trying to be nice because I always say the twin flame debacle.
Yeah,
that's what I always say. I was trying to not use the word debacle, but in the twin flame ethos, should I say ethos? Ethos is a good word. Ideology, the twin flame ideology, the twin flame ethos. Okay, so you have 2 main key players here, right? And you have your twin flames, right? Then you have the false twin. Right. And that's fairly new. And then another OG term would be the karmic.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And then if we were to jump back to twin flames, the twin flames are reduced down into a divine masculine and a divine feminine. So those are the twins. Now, the way that it's explained is it's not masculine and feminine based on gender, because within the ethos, there can be men who are divine feminines. There can be women who are divine masculines. Even if it's a same sex couple, it still falls into there's going to be one that's a divine feminine, one that's a divine masculine. It doesn't have anything to do with, your sexual orientation, your penis, vagina, your identity. Like, it don't have nothing to do with your body. It's just who you are on a soul level, right? So my thing is, and you tell me what you think about this, Michelle, where this new false twin phenomena came up, right? This was like 2018, 2019, right? And wouldn't the false twin be the karmic? Or do you feel like that's too different?
I think it's so, like you said, it just kind of developed. And I really feel it came out of people like, after further consideration, you're no longer my twin. So you're a false twin. You came to throw me off, but you come right before the real twin comes. Like, there's all these stipulations.
Oh God, yeah.
And the karmic thing, I hear people use it in so interchangeably, like, okay, everybody's a karmic because they're coming to teach you to learn a lesson. Then I hear, okay, it's a karmic if there's something that you have to resolved from previous incarnations. Then I hear it's a karmic, meaning they're not falling into the twin flame or soulmate category, so they're a karmic. So I've heard so many different categories, and I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Right?
I don't even care at this point. If I don't like you, stay away.
Like, there needs to be a whole course on this, which I'm going to go ahead and develop, ahead of time. Just go ahead and throw that out there. But nah, dude, I feel you. Because I mean, me personally, I believe everybody's your karmic partner. Like,
right? Exactly.
Yeah,
like that's what karmic means, right?
Yeah.
Karma.
It's like, especially like, if you're in my soul family and you incarnated with me and you're triggering me or you're challenging me or you've awakened me to a facet of myself or I projected a facet of myself onto you or anything like that. I feel like that's a karmic partner because there's karma. Like there's something you took in from a past incarnation that you brought into this one. And, that person's like sandpaper. So I was always so confused, like with the term of the karmic. And just for those of you who are listening who aren't aware, I might have to start separating it like that. Like, here is the traditional standard definition. So the traditional standard definition is twin flame unions are
it's like the different versions of the Bible. This is the King James version.
Like, no, this is King James. This is the message, But in the New Living Word translation, it says
it means this. Oh,
dog, real talk.
We're not joking. We're not making fun of that literature. I don't want people to be like,
no.
We're just, come on.
I'm a licensed minister. We ain't making fun of the Bible.
Like, come down. We're not making fun. I love that. I have
Bible
so many of those
on
copies.
my network. Right.
Real we're not making fun of it.
Right. Yeah. So, unball your fists, get your shoulders down from your ears. Just deep breathing. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, dude, right? Yeah, I like that. In through your nose, out through your mouth. ASMR.
Smell the rose, blow out the candle.
Oh my God, I love that. Nah, dude, but like the karmic, like for those of you who aren't familiar with this at all, and this is me just kind of, because I think we're gonna deviate from what old school, literature is saying about twin flames. And we're just going to talk about YouTube twin flames. I mean, that's not the only thing we're going to talk about, but I'm just saying for the purpose of what it is we talk about. Because I feel like, child, they didn't went rogue, child. Like, this is like when the Protestants left Catholicism. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, this, like, y'all didn't just went all the way left. You didn't put the 95 theses up and YouTube twin flame people then just started a whole new religion, right? But traditionally in the YouTube sphere, in the YouTube tarot sphere or spiritual community, new age, whatever it is you want to call it, we ain't really a community, but that's neither here nor there. But anywho, some of us are, but that's a whole nother topic for another day, but moving right along. And that ethos, it's a triad, right? And you have your twin flames, divine masculine, divine feminine, and you have a karmic. And the thing that I've found is that, which is weird, the divine feminine never seems to ever get a karmic. I don't think that's fair. Yeah, personally, I mean,
I just really don't understand the new. It's like everything gets so more and more complicated. Like, can we just keep things simple?
Yeah, no, it got very complicated
enough as it is. Like,
I need it to be more balanced.
Okay, so now this and that.
Yeah, because the divine masculine has a karmic that he's usually married to, which is just ironic, or he's in a relationship with or has kids with. And the divine feminine is usually single and spiritually aware and woke and, things of the sort. And the whole dynamic is her learning how to stomach the fact that she found her twin flame, but her twin flame is married to another person or in a relationship with another person. And so the karmic is teaching the divine masculine stuff. And then the karmic and the divine masculine are teaching the divine feminine stuff. But her lesson is about her being by herself and being with a dude who with somebody else, And that's That's how, because that's how people
And
get.
then villainizing the said Karmic.
Yeah, you don't never say nothing nice about Karmic.
She don't love him.
She don't really love him.
They
doing black magic. Her and her mama, they doing black magic. They lighting candles.
Yep.
On that man. They putting things in his food. She using the kids against them.
Yep.
He really won't leave, but he can't.
All that.
Because all that black magic. Now the thing that I want to highlight about you, that was not your experience with your twin flame union, was it not?
It sure wasn't. It sure wasn't.
Tell our listeners a little bit
about...
My
experience has been... I know. So that's the whole psychic thing, y'all. We answer questions right.
That's what we be doing. See, you see, I just was quiet like that. She knew what she knew.
Do that all the time.
She knew what I was about to say.
Oh God. We literally do that all the time. Don't worry about wasting the rest of your breath. I'll just go.
I'll just go ahead and go. I'll jump in right here, sis. I got it.
That's how they do us, though. Well, right before a question's not even asked, and they're already pushing in the answer. I'm like, oh, gosh, can I finish?
Real talk, yeah.
So my situation was when we first initially met, we were super duper young, like straight out of school. Lower 20s young, and we separated. So it was falling in line exactly with the whole like identification here, right? So we meet, explosion, and we go our separate ways. Thanks in part to the military, and thanks in part to we just weren't ready to be in each other's life like that. So between then, we cycle back and forth, not heavy, but just contact one another. Both of us married different people. Both of us had kids with other people. But even through the marriages, we would check in on one another. And then after we both were divorced, we kind of navigated or gravitated back to one another. And that's when all hell broke loose. I have never in my life been triggered as much as this man triggers me. You hear me? Like to the point where I have prayed to the Lord, everybody, please,
Buddha, Krishna,
please, like I need this to stop, like please. And I know he was just as frustrated with me. Like, who wants to be in a relationship where it's just... The thing was, we were so much alike, and what we were mirroring back was the ugly parts of us. You know what I'm saying? Like the good parts we were fine with. We have similar interests, job titles, both introverts. Like if you meet him without me, you would be like, God, you remind me of somebody. But when we're both in the same place, it's like a mirror reflection, down to the music, down to the things we watch, down to the comments we say to one another. But we also reflected back our traumas, and we both have our own series of that. And it was brutal. And when I say brutal, like when you on your knees crying to say like, Lord, can we just move past this? Like, I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
I don't want to do this anymore. Could you just send me something easy?
Right.
But it's not easy. It's not easy. Now, as we've gone and grown older, and here's something to scare y'all. This has been an experience that's been going on for over 22 years.
Ain't that funny? 22 years, and it's 2022. Ain't that something?
Clutch pearls. Insert clutch pearls.
2 + 2 = 4. I'm just saying.
And we're going to look at the 4 of Wands cards. And what does this mean? Let me stop. Okay, so down the rabbit hole we go. So so it was a situation where it was such a fight, but neither one of us could detach completely. We have attempted to detach so often to where people even won't hear about it anymore. It's like, oh, I'm done now. Yeah. Oh, I'm done now. Yeah. Like no one even cares to hear about it anymore. So we still
that's adorable.
We are closer now than where we have ever been. And that's something to be excited about. But I still say that with caution because this whole experience is just a roller coaster. But I've been able to fall back into my femininity with him because he's so masculine. And that was a lesson that I had to learn. But that, I think, out of all the lessons was the most difficult one because I was raised to be so headstrong, focused, determined. And with him, I can't be in that energy because his is just like, I'm not doing it. We're not doing that. There can't be two men in the relationship. Right. And that was the biggest lesson for me, was to trust somebody enough to know I'm going to be okay if I do fall back. So once I learned that, the tension between us really kind of smoothed over. But and like right now, I can't see my life without him in it. I wouldn't be able to see my life without him in it. Shut up. Oh my God. I'm going to throw up. But he doesn't listen to anything I podcast on, so
I'm gonna send this. just a little snippet.
But it was difficult. Snippet. It was hard. It was hard. And I tell people, like, I joke around about, soulmate is so much easier. But if you are able to get to the healing side of the twin flame experience, if you subscribe to that train of thought, it's such a connection where somebody sees you and not sees you on an external experience. They see you internally because they're pretty much your person. Like, literally. But it's just getting on the other side of the pain. And that's why it's scary.
Dude, you ain't lying. And I'm saying that like I know, because I don't.
That joke it's scary. It's like,
it's so beautiful.
They come in your dreams and you're like, I hate you. What? You cannot take my life like this.
Right? Dude, yes.
You try to date other people and their energy just won't leave. And it's like, I know, I feel you watching me. It gets real. That deep, people. It really does.
It really does. And I'm glad that you shared that, because I wanted people to hear that from someone that is, all therapeutic and things, somebody who all psychic medium and things, and all twin flaming and things. Because my experience is so vastly different, just for the simple fact, and this is a running joke between me and like even one of my homegirls, she's a tarot reader on YouTube, and I'm gonna have to link her below. You'll see, hey, my girl down there in Australia. I was trying to do an Australian accent. I don't know, it just came out of my mouth. But she's out there in Australia. What that was I did just now. That was it. It's like she's down under. There we go. There goes my Australian. And I'll have to link her below. But a lot of the work that she does, because she's another person who is with her twin, right? And she did not have of course she had the experience, first of all, because the experience is the experience. But it wasn't kind of like that cornball vibe that, with the, he got like 7 baby mamas and, 2 ex-wives and got a wife now. Like it wasn't that.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like, I think people need to hear it from that perspective. And she's one of those people I always like joke with her, where because the running ideal in the spiritual community is that if you are like a spiritual teacher, and you're like, responsible for people, whatever, that you're supposed to have a twin. It's like the standard package of you then live 50,000 million lives. And
spiritual teacher starter pack.
Right. Exactly. Right. You a starseed light worker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that has to be a meme. Yeah. We need to make that.
Oh God, we still got to make that a meme, dude. Oh my gosh, I can so do that in Photoshop, dog. That is done. It is it. That's it. It's finished. Like that got to get done, because like it comes standard with a twin, right? And that's what it's supposed to like.
No extra fee. No extra fee. We just go get one.
Throw in a twin flame in there for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the whole starter pack. Now, for me, my experience is vastly different, and even with all it is that I know, And I kind of flip flop on terms, which is why I thought it was so important for us to define it. And I'm going to throw another term in there. The other term that I use now to speak about like what twin flame, this is just my perspective, y'all. Don't project this on me. That's just me. It's just me. Not me. It's just me. Right. Right. But I use the term now, like with twin flames, before like that whole process that I went through and I got jaded and marred by all of the stuff I was hearing and emails I was getting. And then when the book came out, I was getting even more emails and things from people. And getting links to other people's videos and is this true? And also it was a whole ordeal. But that's why I said this is why I know all this. Like, shout out to all the people who were subscribed to me at that time that sent me all that data, because y'all just did a whole nother case study for me accidentally, you know. But I look at it with the whole term twin flame because of everything that I've learned and how that term got tainted. Right. I started using the term divine partnership. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that much better. Or divine counterpart. I like that much better.
Because it's like how I look at it like a tier system almost. It's like, you know, all throughout high school and college or whatever, you probably dated soulmates. Right. You had that instant resonance with someone. Right. Then I feel everyone in 2016, well, between 2016 and 2017, whether that person came into your life at that time or it was you reconnecting with, you know, a person from the past or whatever, it's like you have this crazy, like suddenly magnetic, like draw and pull to them. Like, I can't live life without you, but it started quick and it fizzled out quick. And that brings us into another term, which would be runner and chaser, right? So,
yeah,
oh, the whole premise, and for those of you guys who don't know, it's like the whole dynamic is like you meet your twin, you have this instant magnetic attraction. It's like you don't know what it is about the person. It's like similar to a lot of the things that Michelle said. However, it's like when you're in that working phase, when you're getting triggered and like they're being sandpaper, that's like the runner chaser. So there's one person that's always desiring for the other person. And there's another person who's running away from the connection and is just like, no, stay away from me. No.
I hate you.
Right. It's like, I'm
ghosting so much
you
right now.
Right. And that's where we get into the whole thing of, and that's why I'm just so glad that you explained. You did such an amazing job at explaining like your whole dynamic, because there's themes and what MiMi is saying that have that runner and chaser vibe, but it's not toxic runner chaser.
Yes. Can we please talk about the toxicity?
Yes, dude.
Oh my God.
Legit. Like that's the thing where I started using divine partnership as opposed to, and we're going to definitely jump back into that. Like the reason why I started adopting that term is because of that toxicity element. You know what I mean? And because when things start getting dangerous for people, my therapist hat goes on, like psychic hat comes off, therapist hat comes on. And I'm like, okay, now I need to be an advocate, because it's almost like it was normalizing. And those of you who don't know, I am a narcissist. Well, I'm a trauma specialist. And that tears into me being a narcissist specialist, as well as gaslighting and relationships with people. So, and like, you know, recovering from narcissistic abuse and things of the sort. And with this being top of mind for me and being, you know, aware of these things, when a lot of these people were coming in my office, have you ever heard of twin flames? And I'm like, yes. It's like when I'm hearing about these relationships and I'm hearing lots of people, like, I mean, this is lots and lots of women, guys, right, that are coming into me for therapy, and what they're describing is narcissistic abuse. But I'm seeing how the narcissistic abuse and the gaslighting and the distorted description of runner and chaser, right? How that aligned perfectly with the cycle of abuse right? Which is like, your honeymoon phase. Then it's like, you go through the little tension phase, then you have the blow up, and then you go back to the honeymoon phase. And that's like almost the same pathology that ghosting follows. It's like a person's going to love bomb you. As soon as you get comfortable, then they disappear. Then, you're obsessing over the person. Like, where did they go? Like, why aren't they talking to me? What did I do wrong? And you're like obsessing over that. And when people were typically in that pain point is when a lot of men and women found their way to YouTube and found all of these videos that are like, no contact, divine feminine. Did your divine masculine ghost you? If they ghosted, click here now. You know what I'm saying? And that's how people got kind of reeled in. So the thing that I saw where I was like, oh gosh, this is wild. And I don't necessarily think, I can't speak for everyone, but I think for a lot of the people who were doing it at the time, I don't believe they had malicious intention. Right. What I know intuitively is that a lot of them were going through this too. And majority of those readings they did, majority of those channelings that they did were what they were hoping was happening in their situation. Right. But that's not everybody, because there's like, just like I said with my homegirl, she's really psychic in real life. You know what I'm saying? So there are people who were in that twin flame, dynamic and speaking about it on YouTube that actually were giving real channel messages and doing real readings, but they have 50% of people who were not. They just were going through things. Mm-hmm. But I feel it's like that group of people are the ones who hit people at that point to where it started normalizing the cycle of abuse in so many words. So where it's like, oh, so it's normal for them to ghost because they're afraid.
No, they just don't want your ass.
Right. He's just not that into you.
Exactly. And that's where I came in with not really liking the terminology. It started to get so gimmicky.
I'm sorry, Michelle. I just had to do it to you again because I cried laughing when you did this last week. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all. I don't like it.
I don't like it. Keep going, sweetheart. I'm sorry. I said I'm gonna make a t-shirt with your little avatar on it that just says I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. Hashtag twin flame. Okay, keep going.
And it's sad because like you, my field is working with domestic violence and sexual assault victims. That's what I do on a daily. And using a terminology to minimize abuse or to allow it, to explain it, well, he's just treating me this way because no, your twin flame does not want to kill you. Your divine counterpart is not going to try to kill you. Right. If you're being strangled and physically abused and gas, all the things that Marlowe just talked about, that is not. In my example, none of that stuff ever happened. All the triggers were behavior triggers of me that I needed to address and traumas that I experienced that had to come to light for me to heal. Yeah. Never at one time did this man ever make me fear for my safety. And that's where a cautious, just heads up. If you are in fear of your safety, it's not your divine counterpart. Sorry.
Not at all.
Sorry. It's not how that works.
Yeah, or someone who blatantly disregards you. Right. Like someone who's gonna speak down to you and stuff like that. And literally and I'm trying not to use all the narc terminology, but that's literally what it is. Like a person who literally discards you, where you could be crying and completely beside yourself. And they just completely whatever, like that, none of those things are good things, like they're not. All of those are like warning signs of abuse. And that's what totally scared me, which is why, again, I have to keep saying, I'm so glad you were able to share because I don't have a story to share because in my opinion, the person, and that's the thing I always joke with my homegirl, but I was like, girl, look, I'm the only woke person out here that ain't got no twin flame, girl, just solo dolo. You hear me? Just me and my higher self. Yeah, right.
I would tell you what I'm hearing, but it's not the time or place. So
here she go.
I know.
Tell my guides just
I literally did not ask for this.
I know. See, they on one today because I was like, I'm trying to work. If y'all could just stop showing up in my session with all this.
Did not ask for this.
Look. And I always, and that's the same thing my girl be saying, like every time she's like, yeah, no, I was like, nah, look. But I think I feel more comfortable with like whoever my divine counterpart is. I have not met him yet. I have no idea who he is. I'm pretty sure he alive because I mean, I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? So he out here somewhere, but I don't know who him is though.
Listening.
Hey, babe. Baby,
what is taking you so long? I'm saying, dang.
What you want for dinner? You want to read some chords together tonight or what?
I know.
I just got a new deck today. You trying to check it out or what? Legit, dog. Like, I haven't met him yet at all. Like, I know that for sure. And that's why, like, my tier system goes from, you know, soulmate. I believe everyone is karmic partner. Everyone is soulmate. Then I think twin flame would probably be in that realm of what people started calling a false twin, because I see a twin flame as a person who is how you treat yourself. Let me say it this way. How you talk to yourself and treat yourself inside of your head. My present understanding of what a twin flame is mostly influenced by what it is that has happened on YouTube up until this point and the things that Michelle was talking about just now, like with domestic violence, maltreatment, you know, narcissistic abuse, anything like that, like controlling, domineering, what have you. People cheating on their wives and things like whatever, you know, it's like all of that stuff has been like tomatoes that were thrown on the term twin flame. So even though I understand we use it, and I say that in the spiritual community, it's like we use that term because it's what people recognize, like divine, you know, partnership or counterpart isn't really like a term yet, you know. So if ever we're talking about your person, of course, we're going to say twin flame. But just like for me with the update that's going to be in motherfuck twin flames, the updated version, side note, plug. I'm tearing it off, sort of kind of like that, but explaining it like this too, because I look at a twin flame as like a mega ultimate / false twin / twin flame type of deal. And this would be a person that is how you think about yourself inside your head and how you treat yourself. This person would be the physical embodiment of that.
Right.
So the only reason why spirit would have you to encounter this person, and it would be very similar where you feel this. And so I don't confuse y'all. We just going to say that this is what my definition of a twin flame is. If you want to call it a false twin, if you want to call it a karmic, do that. Right. But it's like this person comes into your life to awaken you, much like what Michelle was saying. However, the premise is not for the two of you to be together in a divine partnership or a divine counterpart. The purpose of this person coming in is they're going to trigger you, but it's still going to be healthy because you love yourself. They love themselves. You respect yourself. They respect themselves. And thus you do it for each other. So even though there's like triggering that's going on, it's coming from a loving place. And, you know, those of you who listen to me all the time, you know, triggers are about us. They're not about the other person. So it's not like they're purposefully triggering you. You know what I'm saying? They just said banana. And you was like, you know, I don't like none of bananas. you know, I hate yellow. You don't love me. You just gonna bring bananas up in here like this. And they're like, what the hell? That was on sale. I didn't know. Right. So it's going to be something where there's reciprocity. But how it is that I perceive it is this person comes into your life to show you you. Right. Yep. So it's like a twin flame, as I see it, or a false twin, karmic, whatever you want to call it. They're showing you you and how it is that you treat yourself. And that's the experience that I had. So I went through the whole little twin flame, you know, wave when everyone else did. Right. Because all of us, like, you know, this is like a tier system here. But most of you guys who now have, you know, whether you got channels or, you know, you called to a certain group of people, you a spiritual teacher, you got a spiritual business, whatever the case. Most of us are in that class where it's almost like we're like high school students or something. It's like we're like the senior class, right? But it's well, actually we'd be like alumni. But anyway, but all of us who were in that class, all of us met these people or dealt with these people around that 2016, 2017, 2019 kind of time frame, you know? And it's with that, for me, how I see it is I went through that. I realized like, wow, this person kind of remind me of
I literally
myself.
heard the Jay-Z quote when you said that.
What?
Who did that? So you don't have to go through that.
Yeah. Dog, that's so real, dude. I agree 110%. Like that's how motherfuck Twin Flames was birthed. Like, I love that. Come through, guys, come through. Like, I told you, girl, my guy's ratchet, child. Of course, they gonna quote some Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. But that's literally what I feel like it is. Like, that's what birthed motherfuck Twin Flames. It was that thought of, because I would even say for you, it's like we use that term twin flame, but I believe what you have, you're in a divine partnership, period. Like,
yeah, it definitely feels like a partnership. I mean,
it definitely is.
Even when we hit icky spaces, there's like always this underlying thing, like we'll figure it out.
Yeah, and it's reciprocity.
And we figure it out.
That's what it is, dude. Like, that's the difference. It's like a divine partnership, dude. There's going to be reciprocity. And that experience, like my quote unquote twin flame experience, is just like, I'm like gagging as I'm saying that out of my mouth. But like, wait, I was saying,
my
like,
stomach's turning too.
Right, I was saying, like MiMi says, it's like I just threw up a little bit in my mouth just now.
Just a little bit, just a little
smidget, you know. But in my twin flame situation, that's literally what it was. It was like this unexplainable connection that I had to this person that I just couldn't explain, and I didn't know what the heck it was. But what I realized was that this person literally behaved how I thought in my brain, like things that I would tell myself is stuff they would say out loud. And it's like, once I made that recognition to where it was like, wait a minute, like, if I treat myself like this, it's like, could I really be mad at somebody for treating me like this? Now, mind you, stay with me, because I ain't saying that that's okay. It's like, oh, okay, so if I beat myself up in my head, I should be with. No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's not what you're saying.
Not at all. It's like a switch went off. And it's like a switch went off. And I realized, like, it wasn't about that person. It wasn't about them or what they were doing. And me already being consciously aware that you can't change other people. Like, people are going to be who they are, period. Right. And when I realized, like, OK, this is who you are, that has nothing to do with me. It's not about me trying to be, you know, thicker or skinnier or more successful, less successful. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the fact of me seeing, like, dang, dog, I really talk to myself in my head like that, to where it's like setting impossible standards. Because, you know, I'm like a recovering perfectionist. It's like setting impossible standards and trying to meet those standards that are so far out there. You know what I mean? And it's just this vicious cycle. And one day it's like the light bulb just went off. And I was just like, nah, I don't want to talk to myself in my head like this anymore. I want to have more grace for myself. And because I do, it's like, now I'm no longer attracted to someone like you. Because why would I want to be with someone like that? You know? Mm-hmm. And what I know on the other side of that, which is what I teach to women all the time, is having a relationship with yourself isn't just for the sake of saying that you love yourself. It's because you become your number one schematic. Right. So when there's a person who doesn't treat you like you treat yourself, you can easily just cut the cord, because it's like, ew, like, that's gross to me. Like, I live in my body and I don't treat me like that. Don't talk to me like that. So why would I let you, human being outside of me, talk to me? Gross. Or you feel what I'm saying? So and I feel right. And I feel that's what the whole like lesson of all of this was. So I feel like for me, it was like almost like a is not is paradigm, which is like eerily similar to like what we were saying with the whole false twin thing. So I think that's where, even though I don't agree with that term because it's new, but I can understand, I can understand why people are saying that, even though I know like it comes from a place like you were saying, it's just like, you know, with your divine counterpart, you could play that game, but you could say like, girl, that's not even really my twin. But as soon as you hang up, you're gonna be like, I miss him now.
Oh my God, and I hate it.
Text him like, what you doing? Shoot. Stop being mean
What's
to
the
me.
appropriate time? What's the appropriate time? Do I have to wait? Can I 5
Right.
minutes and then I can send another one?
Exactly, dude. I feel you. So that's my thing, man. I think that's it. It's like, so I would say to anyone out there, if you have used that term, and this is like for my people who are privy to this twin flame thing, if you have used that term, and I'm a step out of what I've written in my book and back into what the ethos is that most people are familiar with from YouTube. So if we were to say, karmic partner, that's the, divine masculine person. And if you were to say someone was your false twin, like if you're out there wondering, because you're probably listening to this because you're trying to get clarity on if the situation that you're in, if this is a twin flame situation. And so I don't confuse you guys, if we just stuck with the term false twin and twin flame, a false twin would be much like what my experience was. It's like the moment that you get the lesson, all feelings, emotions, ties you had to that person are completely gone, but you don't dislike them. Because it's like for this person, for me, I don't speak to them at all. Like we don't have any type of connections or anything like that. But it's like I just don't feel anything. I don't wish ill to him at all. Like, I don't hope, like, I hope your life is just, I don't feel that. It's just, that's somebody that I used to know. I don't have any ill feelings. But if you dealt with someone and you had a huge epiphany, right? Similar to like what MiMi was saying, like she had an epiphany of work she needed to do, right? I had an epiphany on work. Right. So I like, oh, let's do child love. And I had an epiphany of work I needed to do. It had nothing to do with the other person. But the moment that I got the lesson and made the connection, it's like all of the feelings I had just were gone. Like that was just it, and to me and I feel like that's more helpful to people. Like, I don't know if you agree with me on that, but I feel like if we looked at those dynamics like that, like if you looked at it, if you want to call it a false twin, it's like that would be your precursor to your actual twin, which I like to call divine counterpart. You know what I'm saying? Because you've hit, right? You've hit your ultimate, like, top tier of self-love, self-worth, self-compassion, self-respect, to where that was the final nail in the coffin to say, like, never again. Like, I love myself enough to not allow another human being to disrespect me. And now you can ascend to the consciousness of understanding, much what MiMi was saying. It's like you can tell the difference between when something is toxic, right? And when there's just conflict, because conflict and even arguments are healthy in a partnership. Mm-hmm. If you never argue, that's not a good sign, Right. Because we're not always going to agree with each other. It's like, what you mean you want Mexican? I told you that I was going to do Thai tonight. And you want Mexican now? So what, I'm just supposed to eat Mexican? So you don't want to do Thai? Oh, all right. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that because you're two human beings with two different feelings, emotions, stances, preferences, and things of the sort. So it's all about the beauty of going through that working stage and like coming together. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I hope I didn't confuse anyone too much. If there's anything you feel like you can clarify for me, MiMi, because I say that to say, because I feel like it's helpful to understand it from both sides. But I know that some people aren't familiar with any of the terminology. Some people are. And then me want to educate people on what we really talking about here. You know what I'm saying? To deliver these people from this YouTube twin flame stuff. Okay, continue.
Yeah, I mean, everything you said, it's a space of knowing yourself. And if something, there's definitely a different feeling to, in the greatest example is how Marlowe just explained her experience. And once she learned the lesson, the connection or desire just wasn't the same. Where in my situation, even after each lesson, I feel exactly the same way I did for him before the lesson.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't go away. And I've tried.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've tried. I'm like, what candle do I need to burn? What designs do I need to draw? Like, I've tried and it doesn't, to the point of where whatever or however the story ends, I'm fine with it as long as we're still connected somehow. And I think that is an experience that I think that's a beautiful experience. You know, even if this person, I'm not that elevated to say, even if you find somebody else, I'm gonna flip some tables.
I'm gonna flip them with you. All of them, all the table, everybody table. We coming to your house, who listening? We
That's
flipping
what
your tables too.
This is what I done went through this whole life experience, and this is what you're gonna do,
right?
No, but it's definitely differences, and I would just again caution using that phrase or identification so easily. And what I've told people who have said, "Well, how do you know? How do you know?" I say this: say a prayer, meditate, and say, "I need 3 specific signs," and it doesn't have to be 3. You pick whatever. And then give a time frame. And what I said was, I need to see 3 live butterflies. This is how I thought I was doing something too, because it was freaking nighttime. It was like 8:30 at night. I was in my house. I wasn't going outside no more, and I was binge watching television. And I said, I need to see 3 live butterflies. If this man is who I think he is in my life, I need to see 3 live butterflies before 11 o'clock tonight. So so I was just like, and I made a point not to watch any nature shows or anything. So I'm going about my evening, and I would say around, it was time to go to bed. I was getting tired. Wasn't even looking at the time. And before I go to sleep, I kind of do a little quick scroll through Facebook and social media stuff. And sure enough, right before I went to bed, an image pops out and it says, "All things will work together in divine timing." And the image showed 3 butterflies flying out of a mason jar. And I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. So now I'm mad. I freaking put my phone down and went to sleep.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
How do you get around from that? How do you get around that? Like, that's too... And that's the thing. You want to make whatever the request is so specific that when God does the movement, you can't question it. And it wasn't cartoon. They weren't cartoon butterflies. They were live butterflies. And here's the funny thing. They even came with a message. With everything happening in divine timing. I was like, wow,
holy
really?
mother, that is freaking hilarious.
Yeah. So I tell people to do stuff like that, and don't just assume because you have a connection with somebody that person is that person, because some people have just allowed that phrase to be used as a cover for poor behaviors, and that's not what it is.
And that's where the 2 things is one, because I just got a clairvoyant message and a clairaudient message, and the clairvoyant message I got was about you, and it was freaking hilarious. Oh, it was so funny because when you were describing how you were talking about, like, you know, it's like, oh, can I just be done with this? Da, da, da. They were literally showing me, like, with you and your person's back to each other, but there's like 3 bungee cords that's connecting y'all to it. It's you like running full speed and you're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden you just get slung back.
Slap right back.
And I literally, because you were talking, so I had to like turn my head away from the mic because I was like snickering. Because I was like, oh my God, I can't cut her off. I just need her to finish. I'm like, this is so funny, dog.
How do we get back here again?
It's like you
let me tell you,
like,
there have been times where he's like, I'm never talking to you again. Don't ever contact me again. And I've literally said, don't contact me again. It was harassment. Right? Nope, none of it works. No.
Can I just expose you right quick? Let me tell y'all about my best friend. This is the kind of stuff my best friend do when they would get these little art. She all like, well, block me then. Not her, not her block them. She tell him, well, block me then.
I need you to block me.
I need you to block me because okay.
I know me.
Right. It's like, you see what it is. Me. You see how she be playing? Right. That's the thing I'm talking about, dude. It's cute and it's beautiful. Like, even though there's contention, it's still beautiful because that says to me, and this is me putting on my little psychoanalytic hat real quick, It's literally like, why MiMi be saying like, well, block me then. And she doesn't just block it because she know good and damn well she don't want to block that man. She know good. And she know good and damn well he ain't gonna block her neither.
That's what he said. I'm not blocking you.
Right?
I was like, but I told you to block me.
But I said block me. So you just gonna not listen to me? You just gonna disrespect me like that? When I just told you to block me.
If you love me, you would block me.
Right? I think that's so beautiful, dog. Oh, and the clairaudient message that I got is, and then I also have to tell you that there was a last question that I was going to ask you to wrap up the podcast, but you had already and I was like, oh, she did it again. I ain't had to say nothing this time. Because you talk about, I had my pen on it, and like you literally said, there's a lot of people who are asking, how do you know that it's your twin? I was like, oh, so she just, let me just.
It's our connected brain.
Right. I was like, so she didn't just say the thing, then goddamn. Because everything you went, I was like, okay. And that's why I'm snickering to myself about that and what they showed me with these little bungee cords. I'm like, this is funny. And the clairaudient message that I got was how we're officially wrapping this episode up, because you know how I was kind of going back and forth where I was just like, well, this is my definition, is Marlowe's definition, but this is how they see it. What my guides were telling me just now is I need to definitively say it in the tier system that I see it, because people who are listening need to understand it in that way, right? Mm-hmm. So on YouTube, you're going to hear the term twin flame, but what it is you're looking for, right? Especially like if you're subscribed to me, you follow me, like you on this whole woke life, you know what I'm saying? You listen to MiMi podcast, whatever the case. It's like you about this woke life. What it is that we're here to do is have divine partnerships. And Absolutely. What a divine partnership is, it's a person who is on your level. And when I say that, I don't mean that as like an egoic kind of thing, but meaning they don't even have to be overtly woo-woo like you. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't have to be two tarot readers that's getting together. It don't have to be like that.
Mine is not. Mm-hmm. Mine will look at me like I'm crazy.
Right.
But he still allows me to talk.
Exactly. It's like they're going to support you and they're going to respect what you do, but they have a higher consciousness, because that's what this whole game is about, dude. Like this whole spiritual thing that we're doing, like why it is that we speak this way. We're normal human beings and things. Well, I mean, semi-normal, but I mean, we do regular human stuff, like go outside sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately.
Right. It's because it's all about integrating these two parts of yourself. Right. And that's what this divine partnership is about. It's like that knowledge and that feeling space, of being a human being. Or even if you look at it from like more of a divine mind perspective, wisdom and love, right? It's the marriage of those two extremes. And it's these two people who are going to be examples for the collective, especially if you're someone who, like I said before, spiritual teaching, you coaching, you doing whatever, but your life and your experience, your awakening process has been an example for someone else, just like how you connecting with a person who's done work on themselves, just like you've done work on yourself. These two people come together and they can be an example for the rest of the world. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not gonna say the rest of the world, and not the whole world, just the collective. Let me just say that. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? And this person is, because a healthy relationship, if we were to deviate a little bit from the spiritual side of this, the true sign of a healthy relationship is a person who's helping you be your best you and not saving you from yourself because you didn't already done the work. But it's like a person who can continuously grow with you. Like you both have growth mindsets. You both want to be better. You both have a heart for people. You have, a philanthropic spirit. You have a heart for the collective, whatever the case. And even if this person isn't necessarily working in spiritual work, they're going to stand behind you and support you 110% with what it is that you're doing. They're not going to insult you. They're not going to break you down. They're not going to try to pull you away from what your life path is. It's like, it's just going to work, but it's not going to be perfect. Right. It's not going to be easy. Like Michelle already explained that to you guys. Like, it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, like we saw each other first day, knew we were in love via osmosis.
We knew everything
Forget
about
it.
each other.
That ain't
And yeah, we never had no
ain't it.
challenges or nothing. We don't never argue. We just in love and levitate
And you
together.
that is not the one.
That is
not
not
it.
real life.
That is not it.
Right.
And also, just to add on what you were saying about not bringing you down, you actually will start to see improvement in both individual lives.
Exactly.
Certain things will start to change and improve.
Mhm.
One might go faster or move before the other one, but the other one starts to catch up. And usually the one who starts to catch up catches up really quick once they start in the motion.
Exactly. Absolutely. And you're feeding into each other, man, straight up. And I feel the marker of that's what the pinnacle is. That's what it is. Like when with what twin flames were once upon a time, like the concept of it, that's how twin flames used to be described, is what I just described as a divine partnership. That's what it used to be. And I feel what it has become now, which is what you're absolutely not looking for, is it being a one-sided connection, with that runner and chaser thing being you constantly chasing and this person always running, a person who won't commit to you, a person who wants to like constantly sleep with you, but doesn't want to commit to you. You know what I mean? A person who wants you to have all these babies for him and things, but still don't want to commit to you. A person who, you know, makes fun of you for the stuff that you're interested in or makes you feel less than yourself. And Lord child, they tell me buku stuff. Main markers would be if, just like how MiMi was just saying, of like how both of you grow, like you and this person being together, it's mutually beneficial. But the sign of what would be considered a twin flame, as it's described present day, would be a connection with a person where you feel a lot of the things that you would feel allegedly like in a divine partnership, but it's completely one-sided. It's like you're constantly pouring into this person, giving. You're trying to help them get on their feet. You're trying to help them learn how to be spiritual. You're trying to convince them to go to therapy. You're trying to get them off of drugs, like whatever the case. And this person is like caught up in their own world, and you're carrying the burden of this connection solely on your shoulders. So, and so much so, and I'm saying this as a tarot reader, so much so that you have to go on YouTube to listen to a complete stranger to get insight into your relationship. That to me is extra red flag, because whenever you're in connection with someone, you should have communication enough to when there's a problem, you feel enough in a safe space to where you're able to bring this to them and them not reject you or demean you or make you feel less than. Or if you look at what your life was before you met this person and before you came encountered with this person, aside from this magnetic chemistry that y'all got, if the only good thing about your connection is when y'all smash, or if that's the only thing that y'all do together, y'all don't do nothing else. But your life prior to you meeting this person was vastly different. Like once upon a time, you were happy. Once upon a time, you were excited about life, right? Or your money wasn't funny. And as soon as this person stepped into your life that you feel is this twin flame person, it's like suddenly everything with you went left. But you notice every time y'all go through your whole runner chaser thing, when they get, you know, on their track star stuff, right? Suddenly things start getting better for you. But then when they come back, they suddenly start to regress. Like these are all signs that you want to pay attention to that are a lot like what me and MiMi were talking about earlier with those toxic signs of a domestic violence relationship or, you know, manipulative, controlling, gaslighting, narcissistic, abusive relationship. That is not what love is. That is not what God intended with these partnerships. And love doesn't equal pain. And I feel a lot of that goes back to our transactional, conditional understanding of love, which is this thought of you have to be something other than you are in order for someone to love you. And that's just a lie. You don't have to earn love from someone. You don't have to prove yourself to someone. Love is a gift. Love is something that is what God is. And God gives that out freely. And granted, we can't open up everything of ourselves to human beings and just trust everybody. No, that's where wisdom comes in, right? We know from life experience to have boundaries, but this is things that you need to know the difference of what a healthy and an unhealthy relationship looks like, what love looks like, and utilize discretion, discernment, and wisdom with dealing with people. And that whole definition of a twin flame as it stands now, like a person who's in and out of your life that doesn't respect you enough to consider your feelings, right? That's not love. That is not your divine counterpart. But at the same time, it's a lesson. You know what I'm saying? On both sides, whether it's divine counterpart as a twin flame, there's always going to be a lesson involved. And I can say, you know, for me, even for MiMi, both of us, you know, two sides, one coin, we had different experiences, but I can say that I think it's beautiful. Like her connection, I just love it. It gives me so much hope. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not excited about the whole, you know, sandpaper part.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
I could do it out there. I could do it out there. You know what I'm saying? We could fast forward.
I'm pretty sure if we had a counter, like, you know, those counters at work, and it says how many days since last incident.
Oh my God. Yeah.
If I had that, I'm pretty sure in the next week or so, I'm going to have that back going counting again. Like right now, we're good. But
right. Dude, I'm not looking forward to that. Dude, I need you to do that because please.
He's doing it again.
I need you to take like a selfie in front of it. Like, you know,
I know, right?
10 days without an incident. And it's like thumbs up selfie. Right, dude, legit. But nah, man, but that's the thing. It's like that gives me hope. And even me knowing that I have no idea who this man is, even though, like you said, since he's listening.
Oh no, he won't listen. He don't listen to none of my stuff. How supportive is that? He's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't.
I need you to give me the Cliff Notes.
The amount of dudes that I have on the other podcast. I think that's.
Oh, yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah. But nah, dude, I'm excited of the fact that I don't know who my divine counterpart is. I think that's lit because it's almost like that hope and wonder that you have for the future. It's just like the fact like, oh my gosh, like I have no idea who it is. I was like, oh my gosh, that's interesting. So I look forward to it, you know, but I'm thankful for the experience that I went through because I wouldn't be who it is that I am right now had it not been for that, because I feel my experience was like the nail in the coffin. Like if I was on the fence of like, you know, me standing firmly, like we talk about coming out of the spiritual closet and all that. Like if I was on the fence or like scared to stand firmly and be confident in who I am, completely unashamed, it's like that situation was like that push off of the fence to say like, fuck it. This is me. Psychic bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, you gotta love it. You're gonna love it or leave it.
Exactly. And so it's helpful. So that's the thing that I say to everyone that's out there. It's like, I'm not telling everyone, like from what I described about divine partnerships and twin flames, and even for those of you who may have resonated with my definition of twin flame, and you're like, oh, that's definitely the situation that I was in. Know that there's still hope, and know that that's a step on the path. And if you've cut ties with this person, then I mean, you Gucci, you know, on the path to a divine partner. You know what I'm saying? But even if you guys may identify with that, you know, toxic version of what a twin flame is, and you're still in that connection, I mean, I can't tell you what to do with your life because you're grown and you got free will. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted my opinion, I would say run. However, there's still a lesson that needs to be learned. It's like if you don't learn the lesson, you will just continuously find the same human in a different body, because you learning that lesson is the key that unlocks your destiny. And that lesson, like, it would behoove you greatly to learn that lesson. So I would love to hear from you guys, because I know we talked about a lot on this episode. We unpacked a lot, it's a whole lot going on with this. We can talk about this until, next year, dag nabbit. But any of you guys who have questions in reference to this, or if there's anything that you want us to clarify, if you're listening to this on YouTube, just go ahead and jump in the comments, shoot a little message to me or to MiMi about what you guys would want more clarity on or what you think about it. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna go ahead and do our outro. If you don't have anything else to add, my bestie.
No, I think this was good. I think it's gonna bring some clarity to a lot of people.
Oh yeah, child. Because I said I started writing down little bullet points because I was like, dude, we could like this can
be a whole series.
It really could. I think each of the things we've touched on in this episode, it's like each point could literally be its own episode. Like that's how deep this stuff goes. Like, and I have to say to y'all, man, this is literally just scratching the surface of this. So that's why I say if y'all got questions, drop them daddies in the comments because we can revisit it at a later date. You know what I'm saying? But do you want to tell everybody where they could find you on the social medias, MiMi?
Yes, I do.
You can find me in the rabbit hole at www.thelookingglass.fans, also www.tillgypsymoon.com. And I'm also over in Instagram world on the Looking Glass podcast.
Woo woo. And y'all know where to find me. If you're listening to this on YouTube, you're already on the Marlowe channel. But you can go on over to She Do Tarot on YouTube for my love readings. You can go head over to Tarot Therapy for my tarot therapy readings. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I'm at The Woke Therapist on all social media and also thewoketherapist.com. And I have to give a shout out to our network and to everyone who is a member of our network that's listening. It's called Our Sanctuary.co. You hear me? That's the website. That was a little soft plug. Hey everybody. And Michelle works there. You know what I'm saying? She's on my staff at The Sanctuary. But yeah, man, if you guys are looking for a soul tribe, check us out. The website is www.oursanctuary.co. And I feel compelled to say this. This is totally my guides nudging at me. If you or someone if you're a lady and you've lost a parent, a mother or a father, and you're looking to join a grief group, Our Sanctuary, our grief doula, her name is Precious. She hosts a grief support group every Wednesday on Zoom. And it's free of charge. It's just a service that we're doing to the collective because it was a need that we saw. And if you want more information on that, just go ahead and go to oursanctuary.co. It'll be in the description box and go ahead and click on grief and you can get all the information about it and sign up. And we hope to see you on next Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? But I still don't know how to say bye. We're still trying to figure that out. So, I was about to say if we I was like, should it be like oui? And then I was like, no, that's French for like yes. So that's not how you think. I was like, no, that's
also
not
give me a penis and baby talk. I know.
Right. Little wee.
That's where my head goes, right?
Right.
That's
dude, look.
The sign of a mother.
But you were doing so well because I think for me it would have been so much worse. Where my mind was.
I'm thinking little kids. Like, sit down. You're not supposed to be doing that.
I have a dirty tourist mind. Oh man. Oh, God. So one day I'm gonna remember how to. I'm saying remember. Oh wait, does that mean that this is something I should know already, Spirit? I was about to say one day I'm gonna remember how to say bye. It's like, oh, so do I already know? Is it just bye? Okay, so that's the end of the podcast, guys. We're gonna see you guys next week. Thanks for listening. We love your faces. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else to say.
It's like, I don't know. See you later.
It's like peace and hair grease. I don't know. Like Arrivederci.
There we go. That worked.
Or I could say like or like what my 5th grade teacher used to say. Like I'm just gonna start signing off like that. Remember, guys, don't take any wooden nickels.
Put them in a hell?
Yeah, it was. That's what my teacher used to say that every time she let us out of class. Oh, so don't take any wooden nickels. you know?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
So until next week, guys.
Toodles.
Toodles.